Breaking story coming out of Toronto where a van has ran over multiple people, multiple victims in the hospital, and from what I understand, it's believed between 5 and 8 people so far reported dead. Let me take you to the story.
As you just heard, describe the driver of the van that just mowed down people one by one. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Maria Bartiromo, in today for Neil Cavuto. Catherine Herridge is tracking the story right now. She is in Washington with the very latest. Catherine, good afternoon.
Well, thank you, Maria. So the incident happened at 1:30 Eastern, and this is a very heavily trafficked, dense, busy sector of Toronto. Yonge Street is the main artery that runs north-south, and Finch is the east-west artery that traverses Yonge Street. So this is not only sort of a business center, it's also a residential area with a lot of condos, and it's also where they have one of the major sort of transit hubs for what's called the TTC, which is the Toronto Transit Commission. What we heard from eyewitnesses throughout the afternoon, and that has been sort of borne out by other reporting, is that the driver of this rider rental van got up onto the sidewalk and began mowing down pedestrians. Eyewitnesses said at about 30 to 40 miles an hour before coming to a stop about a half-mile later near Shepherd Avenue, which is just the next sort of big intersection that crosses Yonge Street. A short time ago, we just had a news conference from what amounts to the Governor of Ontario, called the Premier, Kathleen Wynne, and what she told reporters is that they are taking all of the intelligence that they've gathered so far about what's happened and the suspect, and they're kind of pulsing the network, not only locally, so municipally, but also at the provincial and then also at the federal level. They have not identified the suspect, but that individual was taken into custody shortly after they mowed down the pedestrians. We had eyewitnesses report that they got out of the van and they seemed to almost be threatening to police, that they had some kind of weapon. They were brandishing something dark, sort of black in their hand, and then you've seen the video of the police taking them down. We don't know if they had a weapon, but it's certainly another data point that suggests what happened in Toronto was not an accident, but was by design, Maria.
Right, and that's what we're trying to zero in on.
That's
Catherine,
right.
thank you, Catherine
You're
Herridge in
welcome.
Washington. From what we know now from witnesses, it certainly looks like this guy tried to run people down deliberately. Former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis joining me right now. Ed, how do you see it? Good to see you, sir.
Hi, Maria. How are you?
Okay, what's your reaction here? Based on what we know, can you point to anything in terms of whether or not this was terrorism, what the motive might be? What's your take?
Well, I mean, all the signs are there that this is an incident of terrorism. You've got the rental.
And I agree, there's no official word yet, but all the signs are there that this is an act of terrorism. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and leave me comments. I'll do my best to keep everyone updated. A van in Toronto just plows into a crowd of people, multiple people injured, and no official word yet on the death count, but I believe between what I understood, 5 to 8 that have died so far. All right, leave me comments.